The Tree and the Nest. The wind howled through the forest that morning as though carrying whispers of the tree's struggles. Beneath the wide, spreading branches of a grand oak, a bird fluttered anxiously, looking for the perfect spot. But this oak wasn't just any tree. It had stood for centuries, its roots deep in the soil, its limbs reaching high into the sky. The oak had seen many seasons, many storms, and had offered shelter to countless creatures. And today, its branches were weighed down once more. But this time, something was different. The oak's branches groaned under the pressure of the nest it held. The nest, woven together with delicate twigs, leaves, and feathers, was home to a family of sparrows. The tiny sparrows chirped loudly, their voices filled with innocent joy, but the oak felt a deep weariness. For years it had stood as a protector, a silent guardian of the forest. But as the winds grew stronger, it began to feel the strain. Each gust of wind seemed to shake it further, each rustling leaf a reminder of how much weight it had carried throughout the years. Will I fall? The oak thought. Will the branches snap? Will I fail those who have come to depend on me? The nest, though small and fragile, was its pride. It was the life it had sheltered, the safety it had given. And now it feared it might not be enough. It felt the weight of the nest more than ever before. But then, through the rustling leaves, a quiet voice echoed through the oak's old wood, a voice the tree had long forgotten it could hear. You've given so much. It was the voice of the bird who had built the nest, the mother sparrow. Perched on a branch above, she looked down with gratitude, her eyes filled with understanding. You've sheltered me, my kind, and countless others. You've weathered every storm, and yet here we are. You're not alone. The oak trembled, not from fear, but from the warmth in her words. Despite the burden, despite the pain of holding on to something that seemed just too heavy, the tree realized something. The weight of the nest wasn't just a burden, it was a symbol of its life's work. All those years, all those moments of shelter, of protection, had led to this. This nest, this family, this love. I will hold you, the tree whispered softly through the winds, its voice steady now, filled with a new strength. I will carry you. And as the winds howled louder, the oak held on, its branches creaking but never breaking. The storm passed and the sun began to rise. The nest, though weighed down, was still intact. The sparrows chirped once more, but this time their voices were filled with awe. The oak, though tired, stood proudly. It had weathered yet another storm, but more than that, it had embraced its role. It wasn't just the weight it carried that mattered. It was the lives it had sheltered, the love it had nurtured. And as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, the oak stood tall, proud of what it had given, proud of the life it had created. It had sheltered nests, yes, but it had also sheltered hope. And that hope would carry on, far beyond the branches. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.